Hi, I'm here today with Brent Selwyn from Harman Lawyers, and Brent is one of the members on our Marketing Insider Club. Welcome, Brent.
Thank you.
Brent has been the winner of the month, the Marketer of the Month, and with that I want to ask you a few questions, Brent. You know, the top 3 things that have made you successful in your business, and there could be perhaps some of the marketing things, some of the things that really have made it for you, Brent. So if you can start with the first one, what do you think would be the number 1 thing that you would attribute to your success?
Well, probably the biggest thing that I have always done and that I've ramped up over the last couple of years is networking.
Mm-hmm.
And by networking I mean just going out and talking to groups and meeting with people who are in positions of influence in spheres like accounting and real estate and financial planning that are compatible with what we do,
mm-hmm.
and who are therefore likely to be able to refer us work.
So how do you come across such groups?
Okay, so well, of course the first one was your mastermind group.
Yes.
So a lot of what I do now I credit right back to Scott Miller introducing me to you. So through Mastermind, of course, I met some like-minded business people, and of course the main value to me in Mastermind was the fact that every time that I attended, I would come away with some little gem of information that I could scurry back to the office and
yes.
try and apply
yes.
to my business. So through that, I guess that really, I always used to do a bit of networking, but it was very ad hoc.
Yes.
And since then I've had much more focus and written goals about what I will do each year. I've joined a breakfast group, not
mm-hmm.
a BNI
mm-hmm.
group, but
mm-hmm.
a mega services
yes. Yes.
Group that flowed out of, in fact, an invitation after Mastermind. It's almost like it was meant to be.
Yes.
It just flowed on naturally the very next month after Mastermind
mm-hmm.
was being curtailed. And that's worked really well for me. I've built really good rapport and trust with the people that run the group, and now I'm starting to see the real benefits of that regular work coming from that group. I also go to a lunch group with some of the people who used to go to the Mastermind and others.
Yes.
I turned down a couple of groups recently, a BNI group and yet another networking group, simply because I have too many of those on the go. But in addition to that, I'm quite proactive in terms of having a regular calendar. One of my goals for this year that I've stuck to religiously is that on average every 3 weeks I go and I market to one of those groups of spheres of influence that I talked about.
Yes.
Most commonly it might be real estate agents, because real estate agents do provide the core work for my office, which is transactional work. So, you know, this morning we went to Total Realty over in Hills Road, New Brighton Road,
mm-hmm.
and spoke to the 14 agents there that work for Rachel Cohn, and that sort of thing goes down really well, works really well for my office. I take all of my team with me.
Oh, okay, that's right.
So I'm introducing them to my legal executives and the solicitor who works here, who are the real strength behind the success of this office. I'm part of it.
Oh, that's very powerful. So that I see what you do there, because you sort of getting across that you have a team backing you up, and it's not just you, you know, there's a whole team, and just the fact that you do that is already powerful, because how many other lawyers would be taking the whole team, you know? I would say I've never heard that being done before.
Well, one of the comments we regularly get is A, that no lawyer's been to see us.
Yes.
And the other thing about Rachel's business is this would be the 3rd time in about 15 months we've been to see them.
Wow.
So we try and make it, the offices that work well for us, we try and make sure that we diarise them to go every quarter. Say roughly every 4 months, no more than 5. And we have a regular calendar. Like last week, a week after the earthquake, we were meant to be going somewhere on the Tuesday, and we took a rain check on that simply because of the timing.
Yes.
This week, Fleur, my staff solicitor, did a talk to an elderly group, a church group. I'll do those as well, but I do CTV appearances, which is all part of networking and profile building. I write a regular column for Older and Bolder.
Wow.
So probably getting a bit off topic in terms of networking here.
Yeah, but it does all show me sort of the things that you do. You know, you make sure that you get out there, that you get seen as the expert, and build the credibility. You know.
Well, it's probably going to build into one of the other subjects that I'd like to talk about.
Okay, let's talk of the next subject then. What's the next one then?
Well, I guess something that I've discovered a passion for because of yourself and Scott, is direct response marketing. And I must admit, I've really only dipped my toe into the water with this so far, but it's something that I've really seen the power of, and one easy market that I know I've talked about as part of the group, so anyone looking at this is probably not going to find that this is vastly surprising to them, but one very easy target that is very identifiable for me is our senior client, because we have a specialist senior practice.
So you have a very clear target that you know
very clear
exactly
and
who they are.
Easily identifiable target market, and one of the ways that we decided to identify, I decided we would identify them, is simply to look through the electoral roll and pick on everyone whose description was retired and write to them. And part of the secret to that I picked up on through yourself and Scott was, what's the conversation going on in their head?
Yes.
Well, that's really easy with seniors.
Yes.
Our assets are going to
security and
security
asset,
of assets.
exactly, yes.
Is it a fear that you can easily play on and agitate? Too right it is.
Yes.
So
yes.
I've been sending out for the last probably, must be a year and a half, 2 years now, 200 flyers each month to 200 people who are not clients of my firm. So we try and identify quite clearly that they're not a client of Harman's, and we make jolly sure that they are retired. We do have the occasional, I remember telling you when I had the first one that complained, and you said, well, it's probably something along the lines of, not enough people are complaining, you know, you should be...
Exactly, it's a good thing. That means people are noticing it, you know, that's dead right.
So as a result, and the other great thing about that is being able to test and measure, and that's another skill that I've focused on because of yourself and Scott, because we know exactly how many people request the information. I wrote a white paper that they get. That's the carrot. So it's like the hard copy version of an opt-in page on a website, because they're saying, "Oh, these are the problems that you've got, and we've got a solution."
Yes, we have a solution. Here's an offer.
Here's an offer. So if
all you need to do is raise your hand and come back to us, and we'll send it to you.
And we try and create urgency by saying, first 20 people to call by this date will get this free report.
Yes, very good.
Now we regularly, and in fact it's so predictable that we get somewhere between 12 and 14 people every single time. I don't seem to be able to get it above or below that. Not that I want to get it below, but so, and those are active leads.
I mean, one of the lessons here, Brent, is that if you wanted to say now you needed to ramp up your business a bit, you could just send out 400 letters, and you can probably anticipate double the response, right?
Yeah, probably.
And keep you guys a little bit more busy. And so, hey, how amazing is that? If you can do that in your business, you can just say, I want to ramp it up. This is the method that I'm going to do. Voila.
Well, it's actually been enormously successful, because I've watched the fee production of our senior practice just go up and up and up this year. It's run by Fleur McDonald, our staff solicitor, and it's very easy to see that it's just improving by the month. And if I did decide to put the foot down on the pedal a bit and double, it would probably mean, in fact, what I have been doing is I've been having a school-age child coming in and doing a lot of this stuff for me.
Wow, great.
So
it's not even that much effort, because you get someone else to do that at low cost.
I don't actually do anything.
Yes.
The whole process is automated from my point of view.
Fantastic.
It's like
I like to hear
outsourcing.
that. I like to hear that.
So well, when I say I don't do anything, I occasionally see some of the people that actually.
Well, I think the key thing that you do, Brent, is really drive it. You have in mind that needs to be done. You direct that it gets done, and you test and measure. And you see the results at the end of it. Yeah?
Well, the test and measure is fantastic, because we can say how many people requested the information, how many of those people then requested a free interview, and how many of those people did we convert into clients.
Yes. Yes.
So, and the thing that we can probably improve on is following up on those who don't immediately convert into clients.
Yes.
And that's where we have fallen down a little bit.
I do teach, the 7-step, 7-touch process, but then, hey, it's great if you get something working even without that. That means there's room for improvement. Absolutely. But even what you're doing is already working, which is really great.
Yeah. And I guess that probably leads me, just if we're talking seamlessly about transitioning into the third thing, the third